And I appreciate Twitch. I appreciate my internet lasting that entire thing though. But I was just going down the protagonist, giving my final thoughts on it. I will once again stitch together the final ending part of the final part of the stream. Just so that it doesn't look as boring as it does. Anyway, as I was saying about Juro sucks. I don't like him. I don't like his character at all. His whole redemption arc is just based on him realizing, oh, I get it. The other guy that's not me was actually a good guy, so I'll just do what he did. He has no central agency whatsoever, other than the fact that he realized that someone else was basically trying to turn him into the protagonist, and he just went, oh, okay, I'll be the protagonist. Nothing. Irredeemable. Also, he was an asshole to Megami the whole game. Unredeemable. Dislike. Iori, she's great. A little confusing. I feel like she should have had a lot more to do. But then again, her whole thing here was just her getting food with her girlfriends, and then almost nothing happened, really. Her whole second part of her arc was just basically an accessory to Sekigahara's story, but I think the story around her character was a lot more interesting, and I feel like that was kind of a misstep. Not a misstep, but I feel like that was the fact that she had so little to do with her own story. Like, at no point in Iori's story does she ever find out that she's actually Chihiro Morimura. You kind of find that out from someone else, you know what I mean, from some other story. Like, I feel like by the time you find that out here, you already know it from someone else. Actually, yeah, no, she doesn't actually find out at all. Everyone else around her does, but she has no idea. Megami, I like her character story. I like her personality. I wish she didn't treat herself as much of a doormat to Juro, because that boy was not at all worth it. Again, I feel like she should have ended up with Keitaro instead. I feel like she had more going on with Keitaro than Natsuno. Then again, Keitaro did spend a lot more time with Natsuno in the story, but I feel like just from a realistic standpoint, the fact that they're living together, the fact that they kind of bonded over some food and stuff like that, they had something in that regard. Whereas I feel like the only reason Keitaro and Natsuno ended up together was because they spent some time in the story together, which I guess makes sense, but I feel like the time that Megumi and Keitaro spent together was a little bit more meaningful than Natsuno and Keitaro. Megami's whole thing with Fluffy, I like that her whole story arc was a reference to the magical girl thing. I don't know, I like her character. I feel like she deserved a little bit more. That's it. Sekigahara was an interesting character. I like him better as a protagonist than Juro. But he fits his role pretty much perfectly here, in that he shows up. He even does the whole amnesiac protagonist thing a little bit better, because he finds out on his own what he was set out to do, and he chooses to do the sacrifice out of his own agency. Whereas with Juro, it felt more like an obligation. You know what I mean? Like at the end of freaking microphone fell. I was saying at the end of Sekigahara's story, I feel like his agency, or rather the culmination of his findings regarding his true identity, ended up with him basically figuring out that he had to do this because this is what he wants to do. I don't know, it just hit a little differently with Juro. I think one of Juro's last lines here was that, oh, I get it now, you know, like he's just doing it for Juro, basically. Relying on the memories entrusted by Juro Izumi, Juro Kurabe piloted the Sentinel. He now faces a game that will determine the fate of the world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Sekigahara, however, literally is doing this out of his own agency. I feel like there's a difference in their, I feel like there's a difference here in how, what gets them into the robot. Shinji getting the robot. And I think Sekigahara's reasons were a bit stronger than Juro's. It felt a bit more like it was his own thing. I know, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like I'm not getting my point across, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Goto, I feel like you don't really get to know his character very much. The fact that he had a relationship with Morimura, kind of, I don't know, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, but I didn't notice that until, like, literally they said it. And by the time you get to do Goto's story, it's at the end of the game. And so I didn't think that there was any sort of revelation about that. But then again, there is a lot of confusion about who Chihiro Morimura is and, like, which character they're referring to. I think the fact that his own self-contained story was just basically used to pilot the story forward, as opposed to telling his own little story here. Oops, someone commented, I'm sorry. Hello. I don't know who commented, but I didn't see your comment. Sorry. Anyway, the fact that his whole thing is just basically trying to pilot the story forward, felt that I didn't really get to know his character very much, other than the surface of him being this analytical thing. I thought the fact that he looked very similar to Tetsuya Ida had some significance, considering that Ida and the Shu Amiguchi Ida look very different, but Goto looks like the Ida, the one that's in love with Tomi. I don't know. Natsuno, I can kind of tell she's fan favorite. Also, just because of the fact that she has a little robot, whatnot. Her whole story is a reference to classic 80s movies, and the fact that she even calls that out, that's perfectly fine. I think her story was probably one of the strongest one here, because her whole thing was she finds an alien, and you know, I feel like there's a beginning, middle, and end here. There's a self-contained story within here that leads to the final climax, which I think is different from a lot of the character stories. Like Goto's story literally has nothing to do with it. I feel like 70% of it has something to do with, like, just catch up stuff that you need to know before you go into the final end game here. and then the end game. Keitaro's story was also very good. Although maybe it's just because of when I played his story, but it also felt a little confusing. Because the whole thing with his, especially towards the end when you find out that they're all just in a pod, the fact that he had to live his life out as an AI felt a little I don't know. I give his story like a 7 out of 10, which means I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. Hijiyama, I like his character. I don't know about his story per se, but I think at the very end though there was some weirdness in there. Him and Okino, the fact that Okino was like, I can be whatever you want me to be in here, kind of implying that 5 years later, Hijiyama is still struggling with his character trait. It's very human. Like, considering that they were just kind of joking about that. But I'll give them the equal. I like that his whole story arc, he was like struggling. In fact, there is a previous version of himself that is completely accepted, and in character means that he's still trying to come to. Kind of shows that eventually he might be able to get to that point, that they did write a character and that was so beloved. I enjoy his character a lot. Just less with the jokes, I guess. Oh god, this story was pretty cool. His whole time loop, again, it's like another reference thing. It's kind of a detective thing, I guess. I enjoy it, but not a lot happened either, so I can't really say much from what I've seen. Was tragic. I kind of wanted more from it, you know? I feel like I wanted to know... I feel like there was other things about Tomi that I wanted to know that just happened in the game previously, like before the game started, so I didn't really get a chance to see what was going on with that. And so unfortunately, we don't get to know. But I feel like it's written here somewhere. I just wish that it was part of her story. But as far as her character goes, I enjoy her character. I like that she ended up with Nenji. I feel like they fit together. Also, I love Cassandra Lee Morris. She's great. So that's, I don't know. I think I'm biased. Shu Amiguchi, his story was also great, also kind of tragic, also kind of fucked. Character turns out to be that way. It does is very tragic, and I guess in a time period where people can just make lifelike versions of someone else, that would be like the results of very. Hold on, magic of a snowball. You're not supposed to hold it. Did it? I'm just gonna hold it down here. Or, here, I'll do this. Anyway, yeah, I like his story. I just feel like I don't remember it very much. I feel like Shu's story has the exact opposite problem of Tomi's story, whereas Tomi, I wanted more. With Shu, I kind of wanted a little bit less, because I feel like a lot happened here. Like, she finds out about Tomi being Miyuki Inaba, and then Miyuki Inaba tells him about the edges of the world, like literally the game world. I feel like he made a lot of discoveries all on his own that doesn't get around enough people. Like, the only other person he tells about the borders, the 30-kilometer border around the sectors, is Yuki. And they never bring it up ever again. Like, the fact that there's so many other things. It's like they saw it and they went, oh man, that's crazy. But not as crazy as something else that just happened, you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, I feel like his story felt a little bit busy. Yuki... Did anything even happen in Yuki's story? I guess at the very end, yeah, when she finds out that her Watson was actually a robot. She finds out what happened in the bathroom. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's a very minor piece that turns and snowballs into a big piece. Like, the fact that she finds out what happened in the girls' bathroom, turns out to be Erika Aiba, turns out to be 426, which falls and then merges with Juro, which causes his... it's a very necessary part of the plot. Which I guess you could say the same thing for Nachan as well. Which... that felt weird, actually. When Erika shot her, and said, "You're now under my control." But I don't know if anything ever came of that. I'm gonna have to rewatch. I'm gonna go back, by the way, and rewatch all the cutscenes of this game in chronological order to get a better grasp of the story, but that's gonna happen way later. I'm not gonna record it, but I wanna learn the story. Ryoko's story was kinda sad. I feel like out of the entire cast, she's pretty much the only one that doesn't get any closure. Like, her whole thing is just that she finds out so many things, and she's so fucked up that she's literally the only one that has to take pills. Like Sekigahara has to take pills like once or twice in his story. Whereas Ryoko's entire arc is based around her having to take the pills. And I thought maybe the name of the pill had some sort of distinction, but apparently it didn't. But I don't know. I think that with her, same problem with Tomi. It's just that there could have been a little bit more to her. But I'm not complaining about the game's length. The game was like 40 hours by the time I finished it. 42 hours by the time I finished it. So I think that's a sizable chunk, but you can see how linear it is compared to everyone else's, whereas everyone has kind of like differing paths. Hers just kind of goes, you know. But yeah, I don't know. And that's everyone. Those are all my thoughts on all the characters. The battles. You notice I played that one on casual. Oh wait, what the fuck is this? 4th area? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this gonna have to be a separate thing? What the hell is this? Let's check it out. Oh, you know what? Horde of various kaiju? Yeah, that just feels like more... That just feels like nothing. If it turns out to be something, I'll like record it with my with the PS4 recording feature. But this just feels like look at how many waves there are too. I don't know. But that's it for 13 Sentinels. I appreciate everyone that came out and watched it. Again, what I'm gonna do with the last part, the part before the stream cutoff, is I'm gonna splice it up and upload that part onto YouTube with footage on top of it, just so that it's a little more digestible, I guess. But other than that, other than that, that's it. That's 100% remembrance, 100% of destruction. I'm sure the only reason why analysis is on 75 is because I haven't been using my mystery points to buy anything. But I feel like I also have just so many questions about the story that one day I'll have answers to, but not today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any requests as to what you want to see me stream, let me know, and I will do my best to get that started. Next stream will be whenever. I'm gonna try to keep streams consistent, especially now that I want to try to work towards affiliate. But we'll see. we'll see how that goes. But this was my first LP of the... This was my first LP of the new year. Hopefully many more. I'll probably play Bloodborne again this year. Tune in and find out. Go eat! Hi, Amy! Were you watching that previous one? Yeah, I should probably eat. Anyways. Goodbye. Stay safe, take care, peace out. Until next time. Bye-bye!